Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. We're looking forward to talking with Lauren Blanford. Lauren, it's great to connect with you. You're the founder, the creator of Lost Woods Farm and Forest, a glamping destination in northern Michigan. Also events on your location. I love this. I love what you're building. I've been camping my whole life. I've actually never been glamping. I've only been camping, but I am a Michigander, and at some point I'll make it up to the to where you are. We're up north a lot throughout the summer. So, but what I want to start talking about is the connection back to nature. I think right now in this overstimulated world, I hear this from clients all the time, whether it's in business. Or my coaching clients that are even talking to me about elements of their life or themselves or their children. Everybody is so overly connected that they feel disconnected and that they need nature to feel reconnected. And so let's just kind of start there. Talk about the power of nature.
Oh, wow. That's a big question. In nature, I mean, our tagline is find yourself at Lost Woods. So sometimes we need to get a little lost to find yourself. And we have a really big property. It's 160 acres. It's kind of hard to imagine that most of it is forest, and it has these rolling hills. But being in nature, you really get back to being yourself and how you got to where you are, and not having the distractions of, lots of people still travel with their phones, and for safety, that is probably important, but we don't provide Wi-Fi, and we really want people to just disconnect.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. The power of disconnection. Let's talk about the power of disconnection and the rhythm of nature, that people kind of can find their rhythm again. Right. So nature kind of gives this natural rhythm. And that's why I think people feel reconnected when they're with it. And so is there a withdrawal period that people go through with no Wi-Fi? I mean, that's that's a big thing. So talk about how long it takes maybe some of the people to disconnect so they can reconnect.
For some people, it is a little shocking, but we do have great phone service. So you're not completely disconnected, but really, I think it hits people when you are glamping. You look up in the night and you see the stars, which when you're up north, especially where we are, we really limit lighting. So the stars are very clear. We have a very dark sky. And so I think it really hits people when they look up at the sky and you're like, wow, look what's up there. And we are just this tiny little speck.
Yeah. I went to, I'm a Tamarack camper, and I went to, Oh, you went to Tamarack?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you go to Camp Kennedy?
I just went, what year was that? 5th grade.
Okay. So I was in Modell, which is now Hermelin Specialty. I did the Western.
You did all of it.
And then I did Kennedy, not all of it, but I started a little bit late, but at Kennedy, which is in the upper UP, we would sit, and the stars were unbelievable. And on our Western trip, we would sleep outside under the stars. And it just provided just an energy that is, it's unfortunate that people can't get today because of their phones. And so I love that you have no Wi-Fi. To me, it's actually sounds really relaxing to come and just not have access to a phone. But if someone needs me, like one of my kids for an emergency,
they can reach you.
Let's talk about the difference between camping and glamping.
Okay.
All right.
Glamping is a new term. So lots of people have different opinions about what defines glamping. For us here, glamping means that you are in a tent, or we have an A-frame cabin, and we're actually building a geodesic dome. But it really means you are in nature, but you're also sleeping on a memory foam mattress with crisp white bedding, and you're comfortable. You have all the things that make you feel comfortable at night and during the day.
Which I think is important, because the older you get, I'm 50 now, but the older you get, it's harder to sleep on the ground, right?
And so recover from that. Right.
To recover.
You feel it for days.
Right. Exactly. So I love that. And so what's
stress out of it too. So when you camp as a family, it's stressful setting up the tent, getting everything ready, preparing the meals, all of it. I mean, it's fun, but there is an element of stress.
Yeah. Are
And
you
so it's
cooking?
all set up for you.
Even the cooking, I mean, the food is cooked
So
for you?
we provide breakfast and we have great recommendations for restaurants in the area. Our location is amazing because it's remote, but it's 5 minutes from Boyne Mountain Resort,
Uh-huh.
15 minutes from Boyne City, Petoskey. So you have all the things to, if you really don't want to cook a meal, you don't have to.
Yeah. And are there hikes from where you are within your environment?
Yes. So we have trails that you can explore here and creeks. And the one place that, like, the one thing I absolutely love about our property is the topography. So, I mean, you can feel like you're on top of the world. But there's also other hikes. Like if you want to go, I don't know, mountain biking at Boyne Mountain, they have trails there, or there's other local places you can explore too.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. I'll definitely get there this summer because I'll be up north. I want to come see it and maybe even experience it. It sounds
Yes,
incredible.
please.
I want to talk to you a little bit about you and your family moved from Chicago to Northern Michigan. And I want to really kind of tap into the courage that took, right? The flow of that decision, even down to the planting the seed of your idea, and then the decision to do it, the decision to move. To me, that's about of many things, but one of the things is tapping into the courage to actually take the leap. And so, can you kind of talk about your journey with the through line of the courage it took to keep on moving forward?
Yes. Some people call it courage. Some people thought I was crazy.
Right. Some people call it instantly. Right. Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. But I've spent, like you, I spent a lot of time up north as a kid and I loved nature. And living in Chicago, with two young kids, we lived in a condo in an amazing neighborhood, Lincoln Square. It had everything I ever wanted. So it was kind of strange to just leave it. But something was missing for me personally, and I think my husband too. And it was always this like big dream to like move to the country and open a vineyard. My husband's in the wine industry. And we were up here a few summers ago and we were like, what are we waiting for? Let's just do it. I mean, it's so simple that it's like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that was really missing in Chicago too for us was we weren't happy with the schools. And it was why I think a lot of people leave certain areas and big cities is maybe the school thing wasn't working for you. And we tried it. And I really I toured all of the schools up here, like a mom should, right? Or a parent should. And there's just a great community up here. And I felt like, my kids could live a good life up here, because that's the other part too, is following this dream. But if you move to the middle of nowhere and there's no great school for your family,
Right.
it's not a good fit.
Right.
So
Good.
those things really fit into place. And the place where we live now and where our glamping and our event barn is actually the first property we toured. We ended up touring 40 more after that or so, but everything kind of came together after envisioning this one property.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was scary, and not everyone can do it. People ask her like, I think I want to do it. And I'm like, you just have to do it. There's there's nothing else besides just you have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That feeling of something's missing in a move. I mean, on a much smaller scale, my wife and I were living in West Bloomfield in a relatively new house, and we just felt like something was missing, and it got us to move to Huntington Woods, right? Which was just kind of the community that we wanted almost 20 years ago. But define kind of that something missing, because I think right now a lot of people, I know clients that I talk to or I hear from people on the podcast, et cetera, that it's that something missing that moves them to their whatever that next step is, whether it's getting unstuck in their business, getting unstuck and getting a new role in their business, finally, moving forward with an idea, whether that's part-time or full-time, and turning into a business. But kind of define what that something missing felt like and how you took that first step.
So something missing, I tried so many different things. I've had a varied career path. I went to graduate school abroad. I take risks, but there's always something. Sometimes I feel something missing, and that's usually a sign that I'm ready for my next project or
Yeah.
crazy idea. And
Is
and
that
for
a
me,
universal feel, or is that just, what is that?
um, yeah,
Okay.
I start to feel a little anxious. Like,
Okay.
okay, I got to think about something new.
Yeah.
And I had two kids, and my husband worked and traveled all the time, and everything was fine, but I just wanted something else. I wanted to start my own business. I didn't really know exactly what it was going to
Sure.
be. This was always in the back of my head. And then when I saw it and I could actually like visualize it, I was like, we got to do it. I know
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Most people thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and this really all came about before COVID. So I know there were lots of people that started to kind of move to the country and move to the suburbs after COVID, but this was like in motion and happening like during COVID, which was it was an added stress I never would have saw coming.
Yeah. Well, but when you finally kind of make that decision and you're just moving forward, the circumstances, you can kind of move through those probably in more alignment, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really work best. I mean, working for myself, I will work harder than if I was working for a big company. It's just,
Yeah.
I think, how I'm wired.
Yeah. All right. Good. Good. I love it. And so so if somebody's interested in glamping, right? So who's your typical client? How long do people typically come and experience the experience? And you don't have to give costs, because I think, depending on when people listen to this, they could change, but what's a
Yeah.
range of, the investment?
So it really, I can't say we have like one type of person. I mean, the one thing most people have in common is they love nature.
Yeah.
Um, and it can be young couples, it could be older couples. The age really has varied, which has been interesting. But they want to enjoy nature. They want to be comfortable, right?
Hmm.
And um, the investment, it depends how long you want to stay and in what type of tent, or we're building a geodesic dome now, which will be a little more luxurious. It will have a bathroom, a little kitchenette, and air conditioning for those that really don't want to
Yeah.
rough it as much. So it can range anywhere from $200 to $500 a night.
Okay. Good. Good. And sounds
And
good.
most people stay, I would say, 2 nights. That's
Yeah.
really, I don't
That's
expect
the
people
average.
to stay like a whole week. That's a lot, I think.
Yeah.
But people are welcome to. And a lot of people are passing, they're doing their road trips up north, and they want to have, maybe they're staying in a house for a few days and they want to have a glamping experience. So
Yeah.
some people just do it for the experience.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right, great. Quick speed round. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
A book or a TED Talk that's had a big impact on you?
Can I do a podcast?
Yeah, or a podcast, sure.
Okay, so I've been listening to Dear Found Her with Lindsay Pinchuk, who is also from Metro Detroit, I believe. And I knew her from Bump Club in Chicago, but she started this podcast for female founders. And she interviews all sorts of, women mostly,
Yeah,
and starting their business and their struggles. And I just find it really inspirational.
that's awesome. If you know her, I'd love an intro. I'd love to have her on the show. It sounds like a great guest. That's great. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Oh, gosh. Honestly, how I live my life, just do it.
Yeah, that's good. It's
Nice.
good. I love that. Finish this sentence. Someone who can't even think about being without cell phone coverage for 2 days, and that's the biggest obstacle for them coming up to go glamping, should
100% come here and try it and take a risk.
I love it. Tell everybody again how to connect with you, your ideal clients, and how they can just connect with you on any social platforms.
Yes. Okay, great. Our website is lostwoodsmi for Michigan.com. And on Instagram, we are Lost Woods Farm. We're also on Facebook. And you can shoot me a DM if you have any specific questions. And, it's for people who enjoy nature, but want a wonderful night's rest looking up at the stars and a homemade bagel for breakfast.
I love it. I love it. All right. Awesome. Well, it was great learning more about your business. Think community. As you know, I'm a business coach. I work with successful people who are stuck. I get them unstuck. And what I love about this podcast is I get guests like Lauren to help you get unstuck. And one of the things I think that can help you get unstuck, to extract a couple things that Lauren shared, is sometimes you got to, disconnect to reconnect. And your logo, your tagline is find yourself. So try to even, grapple with the idea of whether you're glamping in Northern Michigan, maybe just putting your phone away during an hour of calls, an hour of research, an hour at a time, and start building that muscle to disconnect, to reconnect. I loved everything that you talked about today, Lauren, and I appreciate you being on the show. I wish you continued success in everything that you're doing, and I'll definitely get up there at some point this summer. So thanks so much for
having me.
being on the show. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.